Today I'm doing a dish which is really good for vegetarians or vegans, but is totally wonderful for those who also love to eat meat. Now that is not because it's approximating meat. You've all heard of cauliflower steaks, buffalo wings, and the idea is that you simply can't do without the meat or the meaty flavour or texture, so you're trying to approximate it. I'm not doing this at all. The centre of the piece is a portobello mushroom, and it has an amazing flavour, a lovely texture, and cooked just right is perfect to go inside what I'm calling a burger at this moment. But there is no bun. I am not using bread. I'm not saying you can't, but I'm going to show you something more exciting. What is outside the portobello mushroom is potato latkes. Potato latkes are an old Jewish dish. Everyone totally loves it. I can't really describe the taste to you, but all I can say is that when you've eaten one or two, all you will say is, "May I have another?" So here, coming up, is my mushroom burger, a portobello mushroom inside potato latkes.
Here are the ingredients for the potato latkes. It couldn't be simpler. Just 3 or 4 potatoes peeled, 2 onions, 1 egg, salt and pepper and oil for frying. Here are portobello mushrooms. This is the centre of the dish. If you can't get these large ones, you can use smaller, dark chestnut mushrooms. Now you need oil for frying, a Romano pepper, salt and pepper, and some shallots. I'm using some plastic gloves here. This is to prevent the mushrooms from staining my hands. The large mushrooms need to be wiped on the underside with a paper towel. It's best to do it with a damp one, and that just cleans off any bits of grit. Starting with the red pepper, I've taken out the seeds and cut it into rounds. Then I'm looking at the shallot, which tastes very like an onion but slightly sweeter. Now for the mushrooms. I'm trimming off the very top of the stalks, and I'm going to use the rest of the stalks later in a moment. Take a pair of scissors and just trim off the top of the edge of the mushrooms. It just makes them look better. Now you're ready, when you've done that, to take out the actual stalks. You're going to use these to chop them up because this is all going to be a topping to go on top of the mushroom burgers. When you've chopped these, you can go on to slice up the red pepper pieces a little bit smaller. You're going to fry all of this. When you've dealt with the red pepper, all you need to do is to slice up the shallots very small. Now you're ready to fry them all. I've put some olive oil in the base of a little frying pan, and here I'm putting in the slices of the shallot. I've chopped up some of it, but if you like you can just do slices. It doesn't make any difference at all. Then I'm going to fry those for about 2 to 3 minutes until they are brown. I'm continuing to fry the onion in the oil. Add a little more if you need to, and when each bit gets brown, just remove it and put it onto a plate. Then, in a moment, you'll be ready to start dealing with the peppers. All in the same pan. You don't need to do anything else. Add the peppers into the pan. Maybe put a little more oil if you want to. And then shake over some salt and plenty of pepper. And then keep stirring and frying in the oil. Now, they're going to need to be cooked, but it only takes a few minutes. They should still be slightly crisp. After 2 to 3 minutes, they'll smell delicious and they'll start to look like this. Spoon out the cooked peppers onto a plate next to the onions. Now here's what we're making, the potato latkes. We're starting with some peeled potatoes which I've had soaking in water. I'm going to cut them up as well as cutting up some peeled onions. Now the first way I'm showing you how to do it is to grate it by hand. This will take quite a long time, but it's all quite possible. And then later on I'm going to show you how to do it in a Magimix, which is much, much quicker. Whichever way you do it, it's important to squeeze out the grated potato because there's a lot of liquid in it and you really want to remove that. Now here it is done in the machine. As you can see, it is much quicker to do a large quantity, and you'll also see the amount of liquid that's come out of it. To remove a bit more, what you need to do is to put the rest of the grated potato and onion into a tea towel and just squeeze it, and you'll see how damp that gets. So it really is important to do this step as well. I've put the egg into a bowl and then I've added salt and pepper, whisked it up a little bit, and now I'm going to put in all the grated potato and onion. Mix it up well and add plenty of salt and pepper. Now, I know it's raw, but the only way to find out if it's got enough seasoning is to taste a little bit, put it in your mouth, and you'll know. I filled a saucepan half full with oil, brought it to a very high heat, and then I've been frying spoonfuls of the mixture in the oil. You can see that when it's brown, it's done. You have to turn it over halfway to make sure that each side is done. The larger ones will take a little bit longer. When the latkes are nearly done, you can start cooking the mushrooms. In another pan with a little bit of oil, put in the Portobello mushrooms, press them down so that they are touching the pan very well. They'll take about 3 or 4 minutes on each side. So when they're done on one side, turn them over and continue cooking till they are completely cooked inside. You can add a bit more oil if you want to. After you've drained the mushrooms, it's all ready to plate up. Put one latke on the bottom, the mushroom in the middle, and another latke on top. You can have the relish with the peppers either on top or on the side. I really hope you enjoy it.